Hi everyone, my name is Makiko. Today we are going to have a special guest whose name is Lisa from Hawaii. But now she's living in Osaka, which is my hometown. And welcome, Lisa.
You can see, I don't know if you can see Godai Tokunaga. That's actually my husband's account, but my name is Lisa. Hi.
She's really a good friend of mine, and also she's great my English teacher as well. She is crystal healer and Reiki healer, and she does also tarot reading and all kind of spiritual stuff. So today I want to ask about crystals to Lisa. Okay. So I want to ask you, when did you find your first stone in your life, and what is that?
So it all happened naturally. Slow. So as you mentioned, I'm from Hawaii, and in general, I think people of Hawaii are very spiritual. So I've always had that feeling of energy. Everything has the ocean, the mountains, the sky. When I was young, I could remember looking into the sky a lot and feeling like I could read things from the clouds or from the sky or things, but I never really put anything together with it. So as I got older, I ended up, which is like a longer backstory we can probably get into later, but I moved to Oahu. I'm originally from Maui, and I moved to Oahu to finish my college degree. And in the midst of, trying to find what I wanted to do with my career and my life, I started making jewelry because it was something I had gotten laid off from my marketing job because of recession in Hawaii. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? I've always had 2 or 3 jobs since I was 16 years old. And I thought something just kind of came to me that why don't I just start making jewelry and selling it online on a craft website named Etsy. So I started making jewelry, and I didn't think anyone would buy it, but I had just bought some crystal gemstones that I just happened to like. And I didn't put anything together. Within a day, I made my first sale, and I thought, okay, this could be something that I could do as a business, but also enjoy doing. So it progressed into, what do I want to make? And I went to a bead shop, and I wasn't really into the beads. I started finding myself being more attracted to the crystals. So I made a few crystals, and I bought what I could afford. And I found that when I made it, I felt, I don't know how to explain it, but if you go into nature, like when you walk in a forest or when you go into the ocean, for me, it was in the ocean, I just felt connected to something that's so much bigger than me that I couldn't express in words. And so that's when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I started to slowly learn more about crystals. It wasn't serious, like I'm going to study this as I did in college, because it was my side job. And so I simultaneously, I had also been seeing a therapist who was helping me with some trauma. And he was more of a holistic therapist. He had actually introduced me into hypnotherapy, past life regression. And there was a session where I saw myself in a previous life. weaving things and making, using crystals and dried herbs and flowers to make things for people who came to me for whatever ailment or whatever thing they wanted to attract into their life. And that was the connection for me. And at first, I'm going to be honest, it really scared me because once I saw that regression, things started happening. And I'm sure some of your viewers understand when I talk about signs, like not verbal signs, but things that happen that can't be explained. Like not really coincidence, just synchronicity of things that happen. And so I remember after that session, I was talking to my, her name was Patty. And I said, that really scares me because it's something that I was not used to because I'm so used to controlling things, you know, like having a job, having my, you know, being independent and responsible for myself in my life. It was like, I don't know what this is. Like, what is that? Is that real? Is it not real? And so I went into my car and I specifically remember I told the universe, I'm not going to be afraid. Give me whatever it is that needs to happen. I'm open. So that night, we lived right at the start of Waikiki. And my husband's friend was getting married in Hawaii. And they were having a little dinner in Waikiki. And it happened to be the night of a supermoon. So I told my husband, okay, let's walk to the restaurant. And we were running a little bit late, but I was like, no, I'll just run. And like in my heels, because I want to be in the energy. Like I wanted to see the supermoon because I've always loved the moon. And so we're walking and I hear something. My husband, as he's walking, he kicks something. And I'm like, that was not a rock. So I see something skip, 3 skips in front of me. I'm like, what is that? And as soon as I walk, it stops right in my path, right in my walking path. And as my legs cross over, right in between, like right in my pathway was this stone.
Is that
stone? And making my jewelry, I've always been drawn to labradorite and amethyst and quartz. Those are the things that I'm most attracted to. And recently rose quartz, but it will change. But we about in the future. But I remember that. So that was actually my first stone. I stopped and we were both in shock. I remember walking over, like I immediately got scared. Like, this is a message from something bigger than me. Do I walk away from it? And I remember I immediately ran back and I picked it up and I put it in my pocket because I knew, no, Waikiki is not somewhere you expect to find a crystal. So much foot traffic. There's people constantly cleaning the streets. So I knew that it was an answer to what I asked for just like 3 hours prior. And from that, I started to get more into crystals and incorporate what I felt intuitively into each piece that I made. And from that, it just naturally evolved. Like there are many books about crystals that you can use to study. For me, I use it more as a reference. That was a long story for my first stone. But this, it's not, but if you look at it, I know a lot of people have questions about quality and stuff, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, but it's not the most, like pretty stone to me, but this is like I keep it with me. I will never, I treasure it because of the meaning behind it more.
Oh, that's great. And sometimes do you cleanse that stone?
I do.
How do you do it?
Some people like to do it every month or every full moon if you want to do a routine. For me, a lot of it is going by what I feel. So I noticed since I moved to Japan, a lot has changed in my life, and I can see the differences of, and as well as my customers in Hawaii, my clients. A lot of times, people will not understand that when they used to come to see me or look at my jewelry, a lot of times they're asking me, what should I get for this, or what should I get for this? And a lot of times I would tell them, well, what do you feel intuitively? And they would say, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have intuition. And a lot of times I would tell them, you already have an intuition when you're looking at specific pieces. So when you're looking at a particular stone, that is actually your intuition telling you that that is something that will help you balance out or attract the things that you want in your life or that you need that you might not necessarily be aware of. And when we say these words like, I want love, or I want success, or I want money, that's actually sometimes a different meaning than what you really intuitively need. So when I have clients or talk about crystals, I think it's important to also recognize that you need to be aware of yourself and how you feel. How does your crystal feel when you touch it, or when you see it, or when you wear it? It is good to have a routine to cleanse it. Sometimes in the sun, you can cleanse it with, I have a whole bag of Hawaiian salt that I brought back from the last time I went to Hawaii. I'll use that a lot, like Hawaiian salt. Or you can also put it on soil, sage. But for me personally, I cleanse it when I feel, I don't know if people understand this, but when it feels heavy. Like I don't know thing to it. Other than that, I kind of just let it do what it needs to do.
Wow. So when you pick some stone for other people, also it's because of you just get the intuition?
For me, I've learned, so when I first started out venturing after doing online, that was really fun for me because I didn't really have to put myself out there because I was honestly, I'm really, I think if I know you, I seem very outgoing and very, like vibrant, and I have no fears, but I'm a pretty shy person. I really protect my spirit and my energy, and I don't show that to many people. So I really enjoy doing the online because I could be honest without feeling vulnerable. And I realized if I wanted to keep doing that, I needed to do like craft fairs, or I had to actually go out into public and people. And I'm really glad I did because it really helped me to grow my knowledge in crystals, because I would find a lot of books and they're all different. Like you can find 2 books and the same exact crystal and they have different meanings. At first I was so confused, but as I went into public, I understood, because different stones will have different energies that work with your energy. So rose quartz could be great for me, but for you, it just doesn't feel like it fits right. And so when I would have customers or clients come up, I would honestly not really say, you need this crystal, because I always felt like I'm not that person. And sometimes I can understand when you say things that might not actually be what you really mean because of your vulnerability. You're human, you have your own, traumas and past, whatever's in your past. And so I would just ask them questions. What colors are you attracted to? And I would have them hold different crystals and in a way give them a mini lesson on energy and how when you actually close your eyes and put your focus into how you feel without someone telling you, you actually can answer the question yourself. You can actually find what really works for you rather than someone telling you, I think you need this. And I sometimes I really believe that we don't trust ourselves because a lot of times I think it's a healthy thing to question yourself, but you have to know when it becomes unhealthy. So I would always tell, a lot of times when they don't know, I honestly would never say, you need this crystal. I've in my whole time of doing jewelry or any spiritual work, I'm always cautious to tell somebody you need to do this or need to do that. As I feel like it's a journey of learning together. Like you know what's best for you, because that I don't want to rob you of discovering that for yourself, because it's so magical when you discover it yourself. Rather than someone saying, even if sometimes I can see intuitively what's going to happen, or I get a channeled message and stuff. The people that channel, or the spirits that, or my spirit guides, I do feel that they are spirits of light, because they never are controlling. They never will give me a message that tells someone to say, you need to quit your job, or you need to do controlling in any way. A lot of times the messages I'll give is, what do you feel? What does your body feel when you hold this crystal? Regardless of the color, regardless of what it looks like, what stands out to you? And I do that with all the works that I do, even with tarot. Sometimes I won't even refer to the book. I'll just go, what image stands out for you? Because the image of, for example, I mean, before we started, I showed you this tarot card that I pulled. For you, the spider stood out. For me, the web stood out. That, I really do need to get out of the corner and slowly start connecting the dots again, and creating my web of things that I want to catch for my life, the energy that sorry, that was a lot.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing your story. Yeah, we have to continue to doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. Thank you so much for your friendship.
No, thank you for everything you're doing for me, and really helping me become more confident in myself. You're an amazing Reiki teacher, and I don't know where I would have gone if I hadn't met you. So I'm very thankful too.
Thank you. So that's all today. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.